Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into some seriously mind-bending concepts from a book that has completely flipped how millions of people think about their finances. I'm talking about Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. Let's jump right in, shall we?
So did you know that roughly 90% of people never actually reach true wealth in their lifetimes? And here's the kicker. It's usually not because their salary is too low or because they don't own some massive, wildly successful business. Nope. The biggest roadblock isn't their income at all. It's actually their perspective on money.
And that brings us to the absolute core of our discussion today. Building wealth, it never starts with a massive paycheck. It starts with a fundamental, profound shift in your mindset. Making money is one thing, right? But keeping it and actually making it grow is an entirely psychological game. So let's completely rewire how we look at our bank accounts.
Part 1, Mindset over Salary and the Absolute Magic of Patience.
Real wealth is never built overnight. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Think of it like planting a tiny seed and literally waiting for it to grow into this massive oak tree. There is a staggering difference between trying to hack the system and double your money in 1 year versus the quiet, steady magic of decades of patient compounding. I mean, look at Warren Buffett. His greatest superpower wasn't just a high IQ. It was his unbelievable, borderline extreme patience. He just let his investments sit there and compound for 60 to 70 years. That's the secret sauce. Compounding only works if you give it time to work.
Housel points out something so fascinating here. Getting money and keeping money. They are two completely different skill sets. To get money, you got to take risks, hustle, put yourself out there. But keeping that money? That requires the exact opposite. It takes patience, humility, and serious discipline. You have to let go of this fantasy of getting rich overnight and realize you're running a marathon.
Which leads us to part 2, rich versus wealthy and the invisible truth.
We all see those people on social media, right? Driving the flashy cars, taking luxury vacations. They look super rich on the outside. But what if they're literally blowing every cent they earn just to impress strangers? Picture someone making 5 lakhs a month but spending every single rupee on luxury. Now compare them to someone making, say, 80,000 a month, but they're quietly and diligently saving and investing. Their lifestyle might look totally ordinary, but honestly, that second person, they're the one actually on the path to true financial freedom.
That's why this quote hits so hard. Wealth is what you don't see. True wealth isn't that shiny new sports car or the absolute latest smartphone. No way. Real wealth is the emergency fund you haven't touched. It's the investment portfolio that nobody else can see. It's the financial cushion that lets you sleep peacefully at night. Peace of mind is, hands down, the ultimate wealth. Moving on to part 3, the trap of never enough and the danger of comparison.
So many of us fall into this trap. Our income goes up, and suddenly our expenses skyrocket just to keep up appearances. It's a treadmill with no off switch. First, you are thrilled making 1 lakh. Then, you start craving 5 lakhs. Once you hit 5, suddenly you're demanding 25 lakhs. And that is exactly where things go wrong. Just to outshine someone else, people start taking on these massive, ruinous risks that can literally wipe out years of hard work in a single bad move. Greed is a bottomless pit.
So how do we escape this endless race? It's simple, really. Only compare yourself to your past self. Seriously, ignore the fake highlight reels on social media. Ask yourself honestly, are my savings and investments in a better place today than they were last year? Do I feel more financially secure now? If the answer is yes, you're doing absolutely great.
Part 4, preparing for the unknown and building your margin of safety.
We usually save for fun stuff, right? A new car, a down payment on a house. But what happens if life throws a massive curveball, a medical emergency, or a sudden job loss? If you only have 1 month of savings, panic sets in immediately, and panic leads to terrible financial choices. But if you're sitting on 6 to 12 months of living expenses, you have peace, you have options. Most importantly, you have the absolute power to say no to a bad job offer or a terrible deal.
In the finance world, this is called your margin of safety. It's basically a financial buffer, your emergency fund, keeping your debt low, having diversified investments. Listen, none of us have a crystal ball. We can't predict the future, and we definitely can't time market crashes. So we have to build a shield around our money. Putting all your eggs in one basket is just never a good idea.
I absolutely love this perspective. You don't need to be right every time. You just need to avoid the mistake that ruins your financial life. When it comes to investing, maximizing your returns isn't nearly as important as just surviving. You have to stay in the game long enough to let compounding do its thing. Avoid catastrophic risks at all costs. Survival is the name of the game here.
Finally, Part 5, Escaping the Debt Trap and Protecting Your Freedom.
We are constantly bombarded with buy now, pay later schemes and zero-cost EMIs. They look incredibly tempting. But here is the brutal truth. Debt doesn't just take your money, it literally steals your future freedom. When you get locked into all these little monthly payments, you are basically forcing your future self to work just to pay off the stuff you bought in the past. It traps you. It kills your ability to jump on a great new opportunity or walk away from a toxic job.
Before you tap your card for something you don't strictly need, force yourself to ask these 3 questions. Number 1, do I truly need this? Number 2, can I buy it right now with my own money without going into debt? And number 3, will my life actually change in a meaningful way if I don't buy this? Running through these questions is a lifesaver. It can literally stop you from falling into a lifelong debt spiral.
So I want to leave you with a rather provocative question. Is your money your master, or is it your servant? Think about it. When you live below your means and keep your desires in check, your money becomes this incredibly loyal servant. It quietly goes to work for you in the background, buying you the ultimate luxury, the ability to live life entirely on your own terms.
The big takeaway from this entire explainer is this. True wealth begins in your head, not your wallet. Shifting your mindset is the absolute first step toward lasting financial independence. So, as you go about your day, ask yourself, is the money I'm spending today buying my freedom for tomorrow, or is it just making me a slave to the future? Something to think about.